Edmonton Police hope to come to terms with the City of Edmonton on a new bargaining agreement.
2016's federal budget is finding a way to move Edmonton's transit system towards improvement.
A new catering kitchen will be cooking up a storm for more revenue. Hello and welcome to Second Edition News. The city is welcoming changes to transit rules and funding in this year's federal budget.
The budget has new investment for our province based upon ridership numbers. At City Hall on Tuesday, Mayor Don Iveson responded to the 2016 budget and is pleased with the certain changes that are being made, especially on transportation.
But the most significant change on transit that we're seeing is the increase in eligible costs up to 50%. And this is finally a recognition from the largest order of government about the relative scale differences between cities and particularly the federal government.
The city will be given funding in order to expand the options towards improving our transit system. There are also new rules in terms of flexibility for cities to make their own decisions on major changes such as renovations or future planning that Edmonton's transit system desperately needs.
The City of Edmonton and the Edmonton Police Association have been in negotiation for a new collective bargaining agreement, and it'll take an arbitrator to make the final decision. Edmonton Police have been in talks with the city for a new contract for almost 3 years. The new deal will expire in October, so police stress they want this settled right away.
What I'm hoping happens is we finally turn the page on this, get this 3-year deal done, and then we move on. We already have other things that we are currently looking at that we want to gain in the next contract.
The arbitrator is set to come this June to make the settlement, and each side will have no choice but to take what they are given. Maurice plans to start negotiations on the next contract as soon as this one is settled.
Young tweens and teens from Girl Guide groups Pathfinders and Rangers were exploring all throughout NAIT last Thursday. NAIT's Women in Technologies and Trade staff, past and current students were volunteering their time to showcase jobs that usually have a lower percentage of females. The girls participated in 3 activities for 30 minutes in the categories of trades, engineering, and information technologies.
I like that girls can see different things that we would be able to do and see what we would want to do in the future, and it just expands our mind. WITT was hosting the event to show their support for young women that are interested in trades. They are hoping this event would help guide these individuals to keep their options open as they approach the age of choosing a career path. With online media now bumping up to billions of dollars into economies around the world, Edmonton looks to have the first and largest tube space in Canada. The world of social media continues to grow, and with the Royal Alberta Museum being closed down, some feel the building could be used for a potential YouTube space for creative users.
Let's try turning this into a place where young people can come and take a shot at broadcast media, at social media, at doing a great experiment.
The idea of the project is to have the facility that will attract people to come to Edmonton in order to bring in revenue. Supporters are encouraged to sign a petition at change.org.
A Ford Edmonton management company and the Ford Edmonton Foundation were pleased to announce the opening of the new Blatchford Field Hangar catering kitchen this past Thursday. The City of Edmonton and the Government of Alberta teamed up with the Ford Edmonton Management Company to provide a $3.3 million catering kitchen for future students, families, and other events.
They have a lot of functions that go through the year. What we needed to do was to build an expansion onto the kitchen that would be able to support, the necessary requirements that they needed for the parts.
The fully equipped kitchen at Blatchford Hangar will allow Fort Edmonton Park to cater events on a much grander scale, with a capacity to serve up to 5,000 guests. A hopeful group of 10 NAIT students were looking their best for another year of NAIT's Next Top Model. Contestants went through a 7-week training process that landed them a spot at the finals. During the evening, the top 10 got to show off their unique fashion sense and wow the judges with their personality during the Q&A period. But for many of the contestants, this event was more than just fashion and looks.
It makes you gain your confidence. It makes you see yourself as actually attractive person. Makes yourself more lovable person.
Contestants had the chance to win gift cards to Kingsway, and the winner received a one-year modeling scholarship with Fabric, VIP passes to Western Canada Fashion Week, and their photo shoot pictures to be posted on Kingsway billboards.
Huge weekend for the NAIT Ooks men's hockey team as the 2016 ACAC season came to a dramatic finish. Clark, you were lucky enough to be part of the experience.
I sure was, and it was certainly something I'll never forget. Merrick DeCasse joins us now to tell us more about it in sports.
Thanks, guys. I got that and a lot more coming up right now. The NAIT Ooks went into the weekend with one thing on their minds: to become the second team in ACAC history to record a perfect season. They faced off against the University of Alberta Augustana Vikings in a best-of-3 series for the ACAC Championship.
Game 1 resulted in a 4-3 Ooks overtime win. Andy Williams kept the Vikings in it with an astonishing 44 saves. He would have to do more of the same in Game 2 to try and keep the Vikes alive and force a Game 3. Ooks down early as Trace Elson carries it in to Tanner Dunkel, who buries it home on the backhand to tie it up at 1. Second period now, Chris Leidsman's shot from the point beats Andy Williams to put the Ooks on top. But hold on to your horses, folks. Boyd Wakelin in across the line with speed. Rebound to captain Scott Swiston, who ties the game back up at 2. Late second period now, it starts to get ugly. NAIT's Kevin Carthy ejected for hitting from behind. He is not happy, to say the least. Ooks now looking for an equalizer. Leidsman gets it in deep for Clark Wilson, who puts it on net. Mad scramble for the puck. Jordan Wood pokes it in to give NAIT a 3-2 lead. Last chance for the Vikings as Wakelin will fire it to no avail. The NAIT Ooks hold on like they have been doing all season long to go 36-0 to become your 2016 ACAC men's hockey champions.
It was an intense game, it was an intense weekend, and a lot of adrenaline going. You got to keep your emotions in check. But once again, I'm just so excited for the guys, so proud of our group, proud of our staff, and it's time to celebrate.
This was NAIT's 16th ACAC men's hockey title, and this was the second time an ACAC team has went perfect, joining the 1985-86 NAIT Ooks.
From gold on the ice to gold on the court, the NAIT Ooks men's basketball team was ranked 4th in the nation heading into the CCAA National Championships. They took on the second-ranked Humber Hawks out of Toronto in the national title game in Fort McMurray. This one was a fight right to the end as Jackson Jacob would lay it up to put the Ooks in front late. Jacob would get another key basket down the stretch. It was just too much for Humber to handle as the NAIT Ooks pull off the upset and become 2016 CCAA national champions. The NAIT Ooks take it by a score of 79-74. Jacob would finish with 13 points and be named the tournament MVP.
Like a champ. I feel great. It was, I don't know, words can't express how I feel. It was awesome. Almost cried.
The Alberta Junior Hockey League playoffs are well underway, and the two Edmonton area teams did battle in Game 3 of the quarterfinals in Sherwood Park on Monday. The Spruce Grove Saints got off to a blazing start as Brendan Byro splits the D and puts it home. 2-zip Saints now as Ben Soa cuts the deficit in half for the Crew. 4-1 Spruce as the Crew get a lucky bounce right out to Ryan Anderson, and the Crusaders cut the deficit in half once again. Things would turn ugly late in this one as a good old-fashioned line brawl ensues. Ben McLeod gets the big takedown on Saints forward Dondre Watson to end the scrum. Spruce Grove would pull away late to take the game 7-3, and they now lead the series 3-0. The Canadian College Finals Rodeo rode back into our city last weekend and there was no shortage of excitement. Northland's Expo Center hosted the 3-day annual event, and the NAIT were very well represented, with our own Riley Boris in competition for the top crown in the bareback riding division. Boris put up a whopping 72 points and finished second place in a very tight field.
You know, it's just great. Northlands puts on a great show. They put on great crowds. It's just excellent. Everyone has tons of fun. Being able to college rodeo is just one of the best experiences around, really.
Other highlights included tie-down roping and barrel racing. The event turned out past expectations, and organizers are looking forward to another rowdy year come next season. That's all for sports this week, guys. Back to you.
Geez, now I'm considering trading in my skates for a pair of cowboy boots. Thanks, Merrick.
That's all for Second Edition News and Sports. Thanks for watching.
Hello and welcome to Cooking with Ernest. I'm Kevin Kyle and joining me here is Chef Dan. Now Chef, I'm from BC, a Vancouver boy, and I really love seafood, but I don't often get that authentic taste that you get down in Vancouver.
Well, here we got actually a perfect recipe for you. We got some BC mussels here.
Okay.
When we get them in, we want to make sure we wash them from any soot or any gravel that might be inside them. We want to remove these beard things that happen on them, and we also want to pick through them so we get rid of these ones that open up like this. This is actually a bad thing to happen.
Yeah, I heard the mussels and shellfish are usually pretty delicate.
Exactly. You want to make sure you're very delicate with them. Usually transportation of them actually kind of causes them to open like that. We're actually going to start with chopping some garlic and onion here.
Okay.
And this is just like a simple way you can just flavor mussels really quickly.
Yeah. And if you're not the biggest fan of like garlic and onions for flavoring, is there other things that you can use?
You can use whatever you really like. Peppers, tomatoes. Tomatoes are usually a big fan for some people. So we're going to add some oil here to our pan. We're going to make sure it's nice and hot so we can sweat off our vegetables here.
Yeah.
So you got that nice sizzle going. We're going to actually bring our mussels straight in.
Okay. And how long do these usually take to cook?
Mussels are really quick. Literally 20 to 30 seconds is all they really need. We're going to season with some salt, a little bit of salt, because they are from the salt water, so they also inherently have a lot of salt in them.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to add some booze, which is, we're just going to use some Marsala wine here.
Okay.
And this is actually going to help steam our mussels and help them open up.
Okay.
So this will take literally about a few seconds more. We usually give them a little toss like that.
Yeah.
And voila, they're all nice and open like that.
Okay. And so when they're open, they're fully cooked?
They're fully cooked. You don't want to let them cook too much when they're open, but basically all these are lovely are open.
Wow.
So they're nice and ready to go. As you can see, they're opening up as they're just sitting here too.
I never would have expected it to be that fast and easy.
It's quick and easy.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. If you're looking for recipes like this that are nice and easy, or other recipes, you can go to naitnewswatch.ca, click on the Second Edition tab, and you can find Cooking with Ernest in there. I'm Kevin Kyle. This was Chef Dan. Thank you for joining us.